Hey guys, this is Jonathan, and we're going to do a brief video on globalization. However, globalization is a very broad topic, so I narrowed it down to the inequitable distribution. And throughout this video, there's going to be homemade drawings to go along with the descriptions and definitions, so please bear with me, I'm not the greatest artist. And here we go. Globalization is a process of interaction and integration among the people, companies, and governments of different nations. A process driven by international trade and investment and aided by information technology. This process has effects on the environment, on culture, on political systems, on economic development and prosperity, and also on the human physical well-being in societies around the world. Globalization is not new though. For thousands of years, people and later corporations have been buying from and selling to each other in lands at great distances, such as the famed Silk Road across Central Asia that connected China and Europe during the Middle Ages. Likewise, for centuries, people and corporations have invested in enterprises in other countries. In fact, many of the features of the current wave of globalization are similar to those prevailing before the outbreak of the First World War in 1914. Inequitable distribution, the unfair split of money or any type of unfair treatment between people. This is involved in globalization because globalization, like previously stated, is the spread or intermingling of different cultures, money, companies, etc. So the inequitable distribution comes in play because globalization nowadays is not equal. It is sadly split unfairly or between classes or social classes that have been self-made in a sense by men through companies, through rich and poor, and through any type of controlling ways they can think of. Like third world countries have less than more modern countries because of that. They can't reach certain areas or they just don't have the resources that we have. That's how inequitable distribution comes into play with globalization. That's why I chose it as my topic. Among the 4.4 billion people who live in developing countries, only 3/5 have no access to basic sanitation. 1/5 live beyond reach of modern health services, and 1/5 of the children do not get as far as grade 5 in their own schools. Many fractions of these third world countries don't have the basic natural things that we have in our own areas, which is another view to show that globalization is a little bit messed up than the definition claims it to be. The 3 richest people in the world own assets that exceed the combined gross national product of all least developed countries and their 600 million people. The richest 20% of the world's population enjoys a share in global income that is 86 times that of the poorest 20%. More than 1.2 billion people in the world live on less than $1 a day. More than 50% of them are children. Nearly 1 billion cannot meet their basic consumption requirements. The assets of the 200 richest people are more than the combined income of 41% of the world's people. And a yearly contribution of 1% of their wealth, or 8 billion, could provide universal access to primary education for all. Industrialized countries hold 97% of all patents, and global corporations hold 90% of all technology and product patents. Over 80% of foreign direct investment in developing and transition economies goes to just 20 countries, with China receiving the maximum share. And debt relief for the 20 worst affected countries would cost between US $5.5 billion to $7.7 billion, which is only less than the cost of one stealth bomber made by the Army. guys, thank you for listening to my project on globalization and the inequitable distribution. And remember, Jonathan Rodriguez, thank you for your time.